Jai Sadguru. We'll continue with the post that we were doing 2 days back, and that is the post by Vishwamitra Maharishi, and the title was Permanent Control of Flow of Breath through Dhyan, Yoga Abhyas and Maun. I had explained about 6 to 8, almost 8 verses, and I had given a short introduction of Vishwamitra Maharishi. I pick up the topic again, and in the beginning and end of this post, in the beginning and also in the end, I will tell you about his one of his very prominent lives, since the people everywhere have a very limited view of this great saint Rishi as such. They have very little information about him. So I'll read out from my own unpublished book. It says something about Vishwamitra ji. The next book, we are doing the first book, that is preservation of our awakened spirit, mind and body with divine knowledge, meditation, yoga, pranayama and prolonged inner silence in Maheshwar. So the excerpt that I have got, first recipient of moksha in history and formation of Satyalok. I am reading an excerpt of a very wonderful foreword of my next book, Wisdom Must Be Attained to Eradicate Ignorance. That is by Adi Shankaracharya ji. He is making me write a series. So in that there is a very wonderful portion of Akhand Bharat. The foreword is itself a book in itself, or at least a small booklet. And in the foreword there is explanation of the power of thoughts and the power of how the world can be like how can we reform or resurrect the world in today's time and situation, and that is by embedding the atmosphere with positive thoughts. So this is a subject that will be dealt again and again. The reason being, it's a very vast subject. So in the foreword, out of the complete foreword, there is one section which is about Akhand Bharat, where I have documented my meditation with God, with Paramatma. And Ishwar has told me about the future of our country, and also the very, very primitive time of Bharat. That means Bharat is a very old, primitive country, the first in so many ways. It is the first place or land on earth where human habitation started, and many other firsts. So Vishwamitra Maharishi is the first recipient of moksha. I'll read out, after that if need be I'll explain, otherwise we'll move on. So this is a prelude or an introduction of Vishwamitra Maharishi. First recipient of moksha in history and formation of Satyalok. There is place above Kailash and Mansarovar where the vibrations and thoughts and mental energies of all the self-realized or God-realized saints, rishis, and you could say even sannyasis and dharmatmas are kept securely. So when any human being in her or his evolution is prepared, ready for moksha, that person starts getting regenerative forces from that place. That's called Satyalok. So when Maharishi Vishwamitra was about to get moksha, his dilemma or his challenge was there was no Satyalok, because before him there was nobody who had attempted to go close to God. So this is where the word Satyalok is coming, why it's coming. First recipient of moksha in history and formation of Satyalok. There is a revered Jyotirling, Kashi Vishwanath, in that place today where Vishwamitra Maharishi had God realization a very long time ago. He attained salvation and blazing knowledge of Spirit Atma 1 crore 25 lakh years ago. He attained this 1 crore 25 lakh years ago. He could not attain moksha earlier than this because Satyalok was not made by then. All the knowledge of God realization is saved in Satyalok. A portion of all the God realized person's mental prowess and tapas is saved in Satyalok for those who will seek self-realization in the future. Those who seek salvation and redemption now and in the future will unknowingly get the vibrations from Satyalok, which will modify the consciousness of that person inevitably. New regenerative thoughts will start erupting in that person due to this proceeding and arrangement made by Paramatma to aid the aspirants. So Vishwamitra Maharishi has obviously taken many incarnations, and we will not know unless God wants us to know. So this is the beginning. This is um, a time now chosen by God to disclose these secrets to the world, and the uh, idea or the objective of telling this is that people must now open their minds to receive fresh waves of very um, regenerative energies. To tell you or divulge about these secrets is not about uh, a feat that I say that only I can do. It's not about that. It's that if I tell you about such things, what will happen is that along with this information, along with this revelation, there will be energies that will be released in the world. So whoever gets to know, whoever gets to listen to this is already getting some positive energy at this moment. So Mahakal or Mahakaleshwar or temple, as we know in Ujjain, is also one of the places of tapas of Vishwamitra Maharishi, and there were other rishis also who came after him on the same spot. But the first rishi to sanctify that place was Vishwamitra ji, apart from Kashi Vishwanath Mandir. So as we get to know this, obviously our mind suddenly wakes up to such startling facts that someone made an attempt to know God 1 crore 25 lakh years ago. So that lays a lot of responsibility on us to take our endeavor more seriously. And the importance of Gyanvapi Mandir, or even Kashi Vishwanath, becomes more important, because these are not only places of worship, these are also places of great penance. Because as we stroll, or as we tread, or as we trek along our path of evolution, we need these energies, we need very special energies. Otherwise, intellectually knowing the path of God and living that path, and going through all the um, circumstances that God sends for us to live, and through those circumstances, if God says that I'm teaching you a lot of things which you need to know, then we should take these lessons, we should take these life circumstances. So this is a wonderful revelation which I wanted to share. My blog has it, my books are going to have it, and they'll be repeated, because it's understood that one person will not be reading all the blog posts, one person will not be reading all the books, barring a few. So uh, interspersed will be these oft repeated. But remember, whenever I write again, there is at least a portion of it which was never revealed. I add. The more I explain one thing, or the more I repeat one point, always remember that I add something new to it. So do not make a habit of your mind to quickly tell yourself, oh, we've heard it before. No, don't let your mind fall into mm, um, um, a sluggish state. This is very important, because I'll add some more things about Kashi Vishwanath Mandir. Um, Gyanvapi Mandir also has lot of other positive and creative energies, which the rishis of yore had uh, utilized for writing their manuscripts or scriptures called Rigved. And apart from apart from Vishwamitra Maharishi, during the very intensive work that went on in Kashi in the last 6 to 8,000 years, especially 7,000 years back, there were many rishis who had come and settled in Kashi, including Adi Shankaracharya ji, Ved Vyas, Swami Shivanand, Kardam, Loma Maharishi, and so many others. And these are the people who have written the Rigved. And obviously they didn't write their names, but it was Ved Vyas who compiled and documented and made it into four blocks or four segments of Rigved, because God or they themselves didn't want their names to be known. So it's my great fortune that I'm telling you this, and I feel very grateful, gratified that at least I could do something for my gurus who are rishis. And my heart really swells up when I think that so many people are going to know them now. Please know the history of India, and Bharat is really the country which has unexplored, unknown spiritual strength and power to still guide the world. And of all the rishis who were coming one by one, or sometimes two, uh, as a community of enlightened beings or Brahmins who wrote these scriptures, Markandeya Maharishi has written the maximum. So I sort of assume that the second video, again, some may have, or some will only listen or see the first video, they may not. So I like to repeat that this book is not written from the levels of the planes or realms where most of the people write. It is attained from some other source, that's Akashic recording, and these rishis' penance, their realizations are all saved, stored. So this chapter, this article, post, write-up, whatever you want to call, is an extract of one little portion of a place called Sachidanand Dham. Whoever will read this book will come to know. I'll read a few lines. We'll continue with these verses. I repeat the last few lines that had been discussed in the first video. The mind generates vibrations all the time. This is verse 7, chapter 10. The mind generates vibrations all the time. We must be careful in what we think. If the breath is controlled and silenced for a while, we do not create any vibration in the universe. The samadhi state is of healing. In that state, the soul comes in direct touch with the universal consciousness. The breath ceases and the silence or mourn is complete. The breath after this state becomes very stable and durable for many days and months. With continuous practice of maintaining silence in mind and body, one may become steady in generating prana of higher quality, and volume of prana is increased considerably. Pranayam is about saving prana. Extra prana is stored in the heart and brain with regular practice of yoga abhyas, pranayam and maun. The longevity of a person increases by 44% if the yogi does pranayam and yoga for at least 8 to 10 years uninterruptedly. This much we had done, if I remember, and you may recall. I would like to read a few lines from the book because I'll explain later if need be, but I feel like reading. It's such a lovely composition, I feel. If the erratic flow of breath in the life force channels is regulated by first slowing it down, next bringing a fixed rhythm, and consequently making it slow by 8 to 10 counts. In this process, the mind and breath become quiet. We are practicing equal breathing, that is Anubandhit Shwas Kriya, and many of you are very regular with it now. So you can do this before you start practicing your Anubandhit. What you can do is you can feel your pulse. Take your wrist with your right hand, and how the doctor sees the pulse of a patient or a Vaidji sees the pulse, nerves dekhte. So if you hold your wrist with your right hand or left, whatever is suitable, you must check your pulse rate before you do either tratak, that is candle gazing, or if you do Anubandhit Shwas Kriya. It is more prominent and visible if you do tratak, that is candle gazing. And before doing candle gazing, you can check the rate of your pulse, heartbeat. And after 10-15 minutes of gazing at the candle, check your pulse rate. it will drop at least 5 to 10 beats. It can also sometimes slow down, say instead of 72, 78 or 68, whatever the common beat is, it can drop to 50, 40. It can, for some yogis, it may be absolutely nil for a few moments. So why do we do these yogic practices? It is because when we do even for a short while such practices, we are saving a lot of pran, and that pran is getting saved in the brain and heart. And from there, when we do meditation or when we do manan chintan, that is contemplation, that energy or pran is used at that time. Because if someone wants to do yoga, that is God union or remembrance of God through many practices, if someone wishes to do all life and in all lives, then one must have excess pran in every life. Otherwise, we don't reach great heights. The yogis in deep samadhi bring their pulse to 1/3 the normal pace, or even to nil for some time. That's what I said. For some, the beat becomes 30, 32. Hence, they live longer, accomplish exceptional spiritual feats, and bring glory in God's world with penance and sacrifices. So, this is also a description of what the rishis were doing when they were alive. So, they were not wasting their pran, and they were using it for great feats, but they were able to do great feats only because they had that reserve in them. When the real time came, they had that life force in them, while in ordinary person's life is expending every particle or every calorie or every, I don't know, calorie is something different, but the life force is used completely because there is no self-control. Pratyahar, bringing in your mind, bringing in your senses, and putting a stop to the working of the Indriyas, like I explained last time, or probably in this video only it was recorded, or was it a discourse otherwise without recording or video making. A lot of our pran is used in speaking, talking, thinking, and no one understands that the main purpose of talking to others is there has to be an objective, and it's a good habit to tell yourself that have I conveyed what I wanted to? Has that person understood? If yes, then the conversation will end. And it is an art. It is an art. So when we are aware of what we are speaking, and if we already have made a map in our mind that this is what I want to speak, this is my objective, and in a few words I will convey, then we are saving a lot of energy, and it will make that will make an impact on people. Otherwise, without planning, if we speak and we are rolling and we don't realize that we are taking too much time to frame our sentences, and we are fumbling to get the right words, then we are losing a lot of energy. So in free time, organize your mind, organize yourself so that your speech becomes controlled. And the other thing which I can suggest is It's because this is all about mind development, and increasing the power of your mind. So reading is a very good habit, because we can go back to it again many times and try to, even this book, at least I have written like this, because to write in verse is quite difficult. Writing prose is easy. So this is what has happened in these verses. I have taken a thought and condensed it and tried to write in 2.5 lines. It's very metered. So learn from this verse that we can speak in a few lines a thought. And reading is a good habit. I can suggest a few things how we can develop ourselves. So good, we have books now. We have our own books, which are very handy. We can travel with them. We can read, keep by your bedside, and ingest that. Ingest that. And when you have time, or when you are not with others, review what you have studied or read, and try to compress and save it somewhere neatly. And in free time, recall that. So what will happen? These crystallized thoughts will be used as seeds in future. If you want to explain something, you'll realize that if I read 2.5 lines, I made a crystal of that in my mind, and when I want to speak that, let me see in how much space and time I can spread out that thought. So this also gives you a good practice of public speaking, right? So that is a good practice. And the other practice, I can tell you how we can control our mind, because this is controlling our thoughts actually. This is a very good, it's like reins in our hand, otherwise the horse will gallop. So don't allow your mind to just gallop anywhere. So when I've said that hence they live longer, accomplish exceptional spiritual feats, and bring glory in God's world with the penance and sacrifices, this means they had already stored lot of extra pran somewhere, and that is brain and heart. And very nicely Vishwamitra ji has told us that our pran can be modified by modifying our behavior, diet and sleeping patterns. The flow of pran in a nadi can be felt during pranayam practice. Sleep, we all know, is good. I will not talk about what the medical world claims or says or suggests. All I know is that sleep has far reaching positive benefits, like good benefits. I mean, benefits means positive only, but what I meant was very enduring benefits. Of course, we all know it repairs the brain, this, that, but it also, it's like actually it's samadhi, means you are cut off from the world, and the more peace you have inside. That's why Swamiji is saying, Vishwamitra ji is saying, maun karo, maun karo. So there will be a new definition for you about maun, that is silence. So if the mind is silenced, obviously your sleep will be silent, like you'll have a good sleep. And when you wake up, you will need less hours to sleep. You wake up very fresh, and in that fresh and robust mind, you can generate or give birth to very positive, very dynamic thoughts. With your good night's sleep, if you wake up, you do meditation, and you've tried to keep speak. I will not say that you should not speak, but speak only that much which is necessary. And how somehow feel I have dealt with this a lot, so I must speak. When I meet so many types of people, people explain a lot. Once they start talking, they do not realize that they should check whether the other person has understood or not, and give a thought, give a pause, and sense if that person has understood. Don't explain more. I do the opposite. I never try to say too much, because it's the responsibility of the recipient whether they want to understand or not. And if they have not, they'll come to me, or they should come to me. The diet, sleep, structured body movements or exercise, and rhythm of breath are pivotal in providing longevity, wellness, health, and goodness. Do not ignore these rules, or else degeneration will be faster than regeneration. We'll age faster than others, because we'll be a spent force. Correct? People who don't practice any discipline, whether it is yoga, or it is dhyan, or it is fasting, or it is a cumulative effect of all, and unnecessarily arguing, getting angry, getting frustrated, has no room for a yogi, because we are not here to convince people. Exercise regularly, at least 4 to 5 times a week, in the form of a regulated, structured form in which all the body parts are engaged. Use your will determinedly to affirm a healthy body and fill your body, mind, and being with God's light. Is such a beautiful thing. That when we do exercise, do it consciously. This is what he's saying. Don't be absent minded when you exercise or do yoga, or you're doing any other, even walking. In that case, when you walk consciously, have good thoughts, do not get inattentive, do not allow your brain to just go wild and without any reins. Basically, you'll drop your consciousness. So don't drop your consciousness. This is what I'm trying to say in the last 4 verses. Pick up your consciousness. Even if you hear someone's low quality thought or consciousness, if you interact with them, it's okay. But take a minute off, come back, remove yourself from that situation, and in a minute, retain your consciousness, lift it up, be quiet, take a few deep breaths, think of a nice thing, and do the next thing. This is a very good verse number 15. Do each movement and step with focus on your 6th chakra to bring your consciousness in the body to focus pran harmoniously in all cells of the body. Breathe deeply and rhythmically to get maximum benefits out of yogasana. Don't do yogasana blindly. And if you take up any other form, whether it is going to the gym or some other form of exercises, apart from yoga and gym, there are many ways you can exercise. You can go for walks, you can cycle, and there are other many modern options. Some people like dance, I don't know what words they are, forget that. Whatever we are doing, first know how much is your limit, how much should you do, and what is the benefit, why are you doing it, and what is your requirement, and how would you like to shape your body and mind in future, what do you want out of it, what work you're going to do with your body, and accordingly you will pick up something and moderate, alter from time to time, moderate, alter your food, sleep as per changing. Do not have a fixed pattern. People are gymming for 20 years but their bodies are not good. People are doing yoga for 27 years, their mind is not good, the body is not good. So invoke, awaken your consciousness and do whichever activity you are doing, whether it is exercise or it is your housework or it is your office work, and bring your focus again on sixth chakra. The reason why sixth chakra is of prime importance is that our willpower is executed from there, and the distribution of pran with your mind will be better if you focus on the sixth chakra. The command is given from the center of your crown or head, whatever you want to call it. At bedtime, forego all thoughts of the world and surrender to God your actions. Confirm to yourself that you are just a witness, a sakshi of your breath. Breathe in and breathe out deeply in fixed count as you watch your breath. This is again Anubandit. In the last hour or the time when we are sleeping, Vishwamitra ji is recommending that cut off your mind from the chatter or the incessant repetition of thoughts and what we have done, what we've heard, what we said, or what happened. That is of no importance. Cut that out. Instead, do another activity. Lull your body. Make it very quiet. Detach yourself from the body. Let it be limpy and floppy, whatever you want to call it. Dead is not the right word. You can't make your body dead. But what I meant was, bring out the consciousness from your body, because otherwise you might say, this part is aching, that part is not well. So don't think of that. Leave it. Focus yourself on sixth chakra. Automatically you'll feel light. Loosen your body. Calm your mind. Cut off from the world and start breathing very deeply, but in equal count. You can count, or if you have enough practice, you can do that. Some like to inhale Om and exhale all the day's thoughts and whatever. They feel very refreshed. So with this, the breath becomes very rhythmic, and automatically the central nadi or sushumna becomes calm and it gets rest, and we have a very nice sleep. It's a lovely routine Swamiji is telling us. After you wake up in the morning, do pranayam to regulate your breath and focus on sixth chakra to gather an energy for all the activities of the day. Means where you left, and as soon as you wake up and you're going to face the world, there will be lot of disturbance, upheavals, or disappointments, etc., whatever, or inactivity, activity, depends on the day. So to face that, fix your mind and body before you leave your house. Energize yourself with pranayam. Obviously you'll be energized, and set, it's like setting something, setting a machine or putting things in order. Do that. You need energy the whole day, and bring the gaze at Kutastha, the Agya Chakra, and pray to God to give you Shwas for Seva. Such a lovely thing. That consider every karma as Seva. The world may look at us as we are doing some activity, but from inside Surrender yourself that whatever you've done for God. So you'll be energized the whole day and you'll not be worried about the outcome. I think we should read it. Today I don't feel like giving a spontaneous discourse. I feel like reading it. We'll read. Eat a soft diet that is digestible and sattvic in nature. Eat at frequent intervals. Add fruits, vegetables, seeds and water in large quantities. Food becomes your breath. Vitamins and minerals are essential for memory and brain activities. Food must be offered to the pran and buddhi. Some buddhi or equanimity is acquired if diet, sleep, blood flow, breath flow, and thoughts are all synchronized and assimilated well into the different sheaths. Calmness and equanimity must be developed. This is eating with awareness. This verse is about eating with awareness, eating consciously, eating what is good for you, eating because you want to nourish your body, eating because it's a duty. The body is a temple. We have to not only keep it clean, we also have to maintain it like any other building, any other gadget. So here Swamiji is saying that food must be offered to the pran and buddhi. Ultimately, a part of our food will be converted as a buddhi. And this is actually the micronutrient part of the food which will go as smriti. Apart from bones and teeth, which we all know. What we don't know is that our intellect is also formed with partly with food and Panch Tattva. And Panch Tattva are also in the food. So the food that we eat, the quality, the quantity, the time of food when we eat, and the atmosphere in which we eat, and our thoughts while eating, our consciousness while eating, all this makes our food more adaptable or less adaptable to the different parts or different sheaths of our body. Apart from our physical body, we have our mental body. Like we have the physical body, which is called Annamaya Kosh, the exterior body, that is. Then we have Manamaya Kosh, Manomaya Kosh. Our man is made of, obviously, we are talking of only food here. So food is also a constituent of our manas. Then we have Gyanmaya Kosh, Vigyanmaya Kosh and Anandamaya Kosh. Means that our body, the physical body, then we have the mental body, we have our emotional body, then we also have our, like Gyan Vigyan means there is one part of us which has Gyan Vigyan. What we are doing now is Gyan Vigyan. And all this, after listening to all this, or when our Chetna rises, we get Anand. So Anand, when we are in Anand, we are in a state where the body is in a particular consciousness. But to remain in that, to remain in Anand, to remain in joy, a body has to be healthy. We never thought of it, right? A sick body can never be in Anand. A lazy body can never be in Anand. An indisciplined person, an imperfect person can never be in Anand. So that Anandmay Kosh, or Kosh means a sheath or a segment of us. And through our divine eyes we can also see the aura. The aura of a very perfected mind and body has, the aura is very large because the pran is very large. There's a lot of pran in a perfected body and mind. Is it okay? Should we read on or? Okay. Sleep is essential to repair body cells and for the brain to segregate trash from important information. Restoration and preservation is done best in the 4 hours before Brahm Muhurat. Late night activities are most detrimental and damaging. Sleep is samadhi. The subconscious mind is repaired in sleep if pranayam is done before sleeping. Fears, worries, anxiety, depression, and negative thoughts will be burnt if chanting of Om is done after pranayam before sleeping. One is pranayam, the other is chanting of Om. So, consciously whatever we have done, we can clear. After that, we can do pranayam and do other spiritual activities and sleep. But there is one part which we don't know, and that is subconscious mind. We do not know what we have absorbed and we are not aware of it, or what has gone deeply inside after many repetitions and we are not addressing that. So Swamiji has nicely told us that apart from doing pranayam, chant Om, recite Om. So the areas where you don't know, where there is a need to remove or address or heal that part, with Om that is done, but in sleep. So meditation helps us. This is a subtitle after verse 20. Meditation helps to realign all the dimensions of our being, physical, mental. See, this is Annamay Kosh, Manamay Kosh, Gyanmay Kosh, Vigyan, and spiritual is joy, Anand. Just now I said, no? These are the 5 sheets we have. We all have 5 sheets. Layers. We have layers. Meditation helps to realign all the dimensions of our being, physical, mental, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. It also repairs our aura of pranic Shakti. A disease first enters the aura sheath before entering the physical sheath. Means dhyan will help. If we have coordinated and realigned all our sheath. That means we are in deep focus. We have cut out the outside influences which are going to sort of impact us and make our mind little turbulent or excited or worried or depressed and so on. All these things will happen, can't help it. This is how the outside world is. So once the day is over, we've done our best, given our best shot, cut off, out. That is not my arena anymore, because after that it's not in my control. So we don't think about it. Instead we try to calm ourselves, so that if there is any disease, a bad vibration, starting with a bad vibration which has entered our aura, that can be diminished or burnt if we meditate at night. With dhyan, pranayam and maun, the disease, physical or mental in form, can be disintegrated around oneself by the dynamic rays generated by the mind and brain during meditation. Means when you meditate, the brain is in excellent condition. It gives out very good electrical rays, which not only heals us, it also heals our complete environment. They say that with a good meditation, even the plants, pets, leaves, this is what Loma Maharishi had said. I don't know whether I've documented in a post. I think I have. That was the first post that I wrote in 2020. 20th May, which I referred to last evening. He had said that when we chant Om, in that post, I'll take you somewhere else to give you a pause. In that post, he had said that because that was COVID time, so he said we have never seen ourselves aligned with the plants, that is the world of plants. And if we have good thoughts, he's not talking of Om and Om's vibration. If we are very settled, if we are very calm, if we have very good mind and body, and if our mind is all the time having good, positive, constructive thoughts, and especially benign thoughts, then we do not realize, but the plants, the leaves around us, they become healthier. So one portion, one little space has been given to highlight that meditation helps to realign all the dimensions of our being: physical, mental, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. It also repairs our aura of pranic shakti. A disease first enters the aura sheath before entering the physical sheath. With dhyan, pranayam, and maun, the disease, physical or mental in form, can be disintegrated around oneself by the dynamic rays generated by the mind and brain during meditation. One should affirm healing vibrations of God's light around. This is so wonderful that it's not only you who should be invoking God's presence as light, but invoke that all around you. Fill your room, fill your house, fill the world. This is a blessing that we can give to others in the world without saying that I bless you all. Then he switched on to Yog Pranam Dhyan again. Swamiji said the hidden natural forces are secretly coded inside the various yogasanas, pranayam, and dhyan. In maun or silence, a new world opens for self to discover hidden realities for one's preservation, conservation, regeneration, and revival. So Swamiji is saying if you follow these ancient discipline methods of discipline of body, mind, and soul, that is Yog, Pranayam, Dhyan, and if you awaken yourself, then by yourself, by itself, like on your own, you're going to discover many truths, many realities of preservation, how you should preserve yourself, how you can conserve yourself, how will you regenerate, revive yourself. You'll get it on your own. And he's saying that the rishis have done this. The very ancient rishis were grand masters in research, documentation, and preservation of their secretive spiritual knowledge for eons. Only in recent times, through some scriptures, the world has known them. They have been on the earth from time immemorial. Our lifestyle, he's trying to say, I was present a long time back. This is what he's saying, that it's high time the world looked up to them for guidance. The world looked up upon themselves, up to them to guide them, and not only guide on a one-to-one basis, but also the world needs them. This is a strong urge in me now, because the world does not know how to handle or manage the world, the earth, the lives, the knowledge that mankind has procured over so many years, thousands of years, and we do not even know how to conserve our natural resources. We do not know how to live amicably with the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, and leave alone the other kingdoms that if we are not aligned with ourselves, if we are not in harmony with our own body, mind, and soul, remember, no person is in harmony with the rest of the world. So the best way to start our journey is to be in harmony, in alignment, And in the center, keep Parmeshwar, keep God, keep Bhagwan, keep Ishwar, keep God. In the center of your existence, always keep God. God's light. God's light means not only the physical light, but the guidance. So it's a very wonderful thing that Swamiji is saying, that you all need me, you all need us, because they have so much more wisdom than any one of us put together. Our lifestyle and thoughts play a very critical role in displaying the quality and richness of our life. They are a mirror of our consciousness. They both must be enhanced and made richer. Means our quality and richness of our life has to be made richer with our own constant efforts and profuse investments. We must invest in ourselves. We are investing so much of our precious time, energy in things which will not give us great results, or of they are so temporary and they are so short lived, and they are giving us such little benefit. Instead, we should invest on ourselves, like invest time, energy, and mind's energy. Put our mind, like let's put our mind to develop ourselves, to uh, enrich our lives. The best example I can say is that there is a wasteland. There are grounds and pieces of land which are uh, untended or unharnessed, what do you say, um, cultivated. Yeah. So we must cultivate our mind, our body, our life, our soul, and live very enriching, beautiful, bountiful, and yielding life. At the moment, we are taking so much from earth, nature, planet, the people, and all its resources, but we don't think that humans don't think that it is their duty to return something back. But nobody will be in a position to return unless they have developed themselves. If you waste your life only in gratification and frolicking, you shall never be able to get anywhere, since there is so much to enjoy. This world is not a quagmire, but a well to fall into. On the contrary, we must do penance. Means in this world, we are going to get trapped, we are going to fall from where we cannot come back. So, this Maya is very enticing. It tells you to enjoy, 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 and we don't realize the life gets over like this, and we are never satisfied. And why they do that? Why do people waste their time in gratification? Is given a reason in verse number 26. People fear or abhor discipline, routine, depth of subjects, revision of lessons, skipping worthless amusements in which all the prans stored in the heart and brain are consumed. Rather, they both become extremely weak. See, basically saying that we waste all our pran for uh, enjoying things with the indriya, means what we like to see, what we like to hear, or what our mind gets excited about. We like excitement of the man. We think that's enjoyment. But contrary to that, if we calm our mind and bring silence repeatedly many times, that is what should be the goal, and not exciting aimlessly our mind and body. Because we are going to lose all the power that is stored inside. People fear or abhor discipline, routine, depth of subjects, revision of lessons, skipping worthless amusements in which all the prawns stored in the heart and brain are consumed. Rather, they both become extremely weak. Shallow thoughts, poor body organs, narrow mind, and constant fluctuation of breath in all years of life bring death and diseases and a fear of death. If momentary fun and pleasure are forsaken, we are safe forever. Made me write, if in one life or many lives we have amused ourselves or wasted our life in these kind of revelry or amusements and entertainment, what will happen? We don't realize that we will not have um, um, pran in our reserve. So the body organs, the mind, it will be very poor, it will be very shallow. And in every life you're going to get that. While the yogis, they may be probably poor or rich externally, but from within they are very strong. They are actually Hercules. I mean, they are very strong. Their mind power never dwindles. I mean, it dwindles, but they can recharge. They have very strong uh, mind, and they have a lot of endurance. They have patience. They have all the good qualities that is required of a human being. Perseverance. They also have resilience. They can come out of any situation by their good mental thinking and good habits, and the power of reinventing themselves, because they can do purusharth, they can do penance, they can take up hardships. They'll never say, I will not do this because it's going to give me a lot of discomfort, or it's contrary to my whatever, the rest you've understood. So we don't realize that the mind is carried forward from one life to another. The body is also, in fact, even organs which are weak now, if some one of your organ is weak, most likely you'll have a weak organ, the same organ next time. And vice versa. So shallow thoughts, if someone has shallow thoughts, if we have not empowered our thoughts, if we have not cultivated our mind, if we have not given power to our thoughts or mental prowess, then next time again we will have a shallow mind. The Indriya five senses are constructed to display your exceptional attainments and rich consciousness, which you must earn with daily stiff regulated lifestyle and good sleep. Instead, wrongful ideas and actions are performed. If you continuously perform irregular and unsystematic actions and maintain a wayward lifestyle, the brain develops dark holes due to loss of connection between neurons and pathways. Interconnection of cells does not happen. I mean, there will be black spots, and those black spots cannot connect to other part of the brain. So if you ask me, in reality, what does this mean? This means that I can think for some time, and then that there will be a dip. That means I'll stop. I will not be able to think beyond that, and my next thought will be disconnected, and there will be no connection between two. So it's like a current which has gone in a wire. It stops, and there is a segment which is dead, like a track which is not jointed. Then there'll be another piece. And mind you, the mind has a great mind. When I'm speaking of great mind, and I'm saying mind power, or a robust mind, or a very highly developed mind, this means there is one area of the brain which is highly developed. Say this is a complete circuit, okay, with many neurons pathways connected. This is one thought. Then there is another part of the brain which has many pathways. This is exactly what happens in the brain. It's like a highway which goes, the cars go up and down and things like that. So everything is connected. It's like cell to cell, cell to cell, and this part is connected. So there is a cluster of pathways, this is another cluster of pathways, and they are both connected. That means from this part of that a cluster of connections, connectivity, you can jump onto this, and you know the meaning and the interrelation between these two spots, between these two circles or a cluster of connections. And then there is a third one, then there's a fourth one, there's a fifth one, so we can continue making this big connections everywhere cluster. This means this is a big, like my one book is this, my second book is this, my third book is this, and I can connect everything. And together, if I make so many clusters of thoughts and connections of neurons and pathways and synapses and so on, whatever it is, whatever the brain science says, then if I make one complete connection and thread it together or make a necklace of it, I know what it is. And imagine the contrast of it, that there are no roads made, there are, and roadways made means, roads made means that, see, whenever we like, some of you are forming the thought for the first time. So when there is a thought, विचार है पहले, so there is this कच्चा सड़क or a road which is made of mud, it can be erased immediately. A jeep goes over a path which is made of mud in a village, that those tires or the marking is erased immediately. But if we continue, if everyone starts using that, then that mark becomes, you get my point, I don't want to explain much. And imagine if the wheels, the marking of those wheels are made very dark and thick and hard to remove. So that's a memory. So brain is a very big part of our being. We need nourishment, we need sleep, we need pruning, we need weeding, we need rest, we need good atmosphere, we need fresh air, we need nutrients, we need continuous new inflow of information. And what we have earned, what we have received, needs to be kept safely in one place, secure from robbery, secure from attacks, I said, or away from people who will pollute it or dirty it or give you a self-doubt. This earning has to be kept safely somewhere. I was so happy to know from Shukdev Maharaj. We only know him as Shukdev, son of Vyas. He comes to me so many times. He has lived in Haridwar. Some years back when I used to go, I've seen him. And I used to always think he resembles Shukdev, but I didn't know he's Shukdev. So he tells me that his specialty is he's researched the sun and the impact of sun's rays on humans, impact of sun's rays on the world. And he has studied like the rays of sun. So these are super brains, and they always give us more scope of inspiration and will to continue working on ourselves. Just 3-4 verses are left. This is the most unique video I'll be making, where I'm just reading, but I didn't want to give my commentary on it. I just want the people, whoever sees this, that they should just listen to the words of Vishwamitra ji. The body, mind and soul are all the gifts of God given to us for attaining advanced feats in this world, to reflect the grandness of the Supreme God. Like machines, they must be rested, restored, maintained and preserved well all life. They give us boundless happiness and joy, which are also a grace of God, because no man in this world, sick or poor, wishes to be unhappy. However, the power to act, think, and will is a must if we wish to succeed and win. All this Shakti of Ichha, Kriya, and Sankalp, the power to will, act, and think or determine, are hidden powers in all human beings. We must develop them by yoga abhyas, pranayam, and maun. They make us indefatigable. That means we'll never get tired. You must harness your undiscovered and uncharted divine reservoir and treasure of gems and jewels which are hidden inside your own body, mind, and soul. They are limitless and can be found by yoga abhyas, pranayam, and maun. Subsequently, once awakened, these faculties, aptitudes, endowments, and accomplishments must be preserved very securely, like the treasure house of a king or a queen. There are bandits around, your apathy tarnishes or diminishes the riches. Preservation of our awakened spirit, mind, and body with divine knowledge, meditation, yoga, pranayam, and prolonged inner silence is mandatory if you wish to reserve a place in the kingdom of everlasting peace, health, success, and joy. So, these are the 36 verses which we have done, and I do not want to leave out the last part that I wanted to tell everyone who will listen to this audio about the life of Vishwamitra ji, more about him. This is from a post or an excerpt from a post which I made in 20 sorry 2021, when we had done a Vishwa Shanti Puja in Navi Mumbai, that is Khirkaleshwar Mandir, and Amra Maharishi ji's 3-4 lives are as an anonymous saint and a sannyasi or a guru also. He has lived in Navi Mumbai, and even Vishwamitra ji has lived. So they have named my house Tapovan, and it's just an ordinary building with the typical Bombay ambience and environment and surrounding, nothing great. But if someone sees it differently, it's a very pious place. It was Vishwamitra who first of all sanctified Tapovan in very primitive era. This is all about Tapovan. It was Vishwamitra who first of all sanctified Tapovan in very primitive era, so far ago, in his 137th incarnation in the second earth. Here I want to tell you something. Like I said, when I repeat something, I always add something more. You should be able to differentiate. Apart from documentation, I am documenting the lives of rishis. Obviously, the listeners will not be interested, or it's just a figure or something. But there is a very important thing that I discovered, and you must know, because a perception about God, Ishwar, Prithvi, perception about how this earth came into being, perception about moksha, if someone is interested at all, or perception about evolution of ourselves, is very blurred. It's very blurred, or nil, almost nil, you could say. They have no idea. Nobody has any idea. And even very learned people obviously will not know that um, see, our mind thinks very fast. So we think, okay, when we read books or when we have read some people's good people like divine personalities, lives or biographies, autobiographies, our mind thinks fast. So we quickly imagine, and our mind races, and we imagine and we make a sketch of their lives, and we think it happened very fast. Actually, it doesn't happen very fast, although except for this particular time called Vishesh Kal Yug, which is happening with you. You people are on a fast track. I was on a fast track because only in this very very peculiar time of conflict and uh, disturbance or uh, conflict of interests of different people on earth, like this period of ashanti, you could say, or uncertainty, where the environment is so degraded and people's morals are so low. This particular combination, the time, this peculiar era that we are in, so our mind is ticking all the time. We are obviously restless. We want fast. We want speed. I mean, we want fast speed, and we think that the world is moving very fast. So when we hear things like this, or when we even read scriptures or read about lives and biographies, we think that everything happened very fast. I want to break this myth. Whoever reads, even the learned and the wise men who will, if ever they listen to me or they see this video or they come after I'm gone, God knows who's going to avail all these things. I have no idea. But if ever someone comes, I want to break the myth. It doesn't happen. What Vishwamitra ji told me, I was very surprised, and that made me very humble. That humbled me because they said that, uh, in a very brief manner, I'll just tell you for people who never heard me before, that the earth was dissolved many times and remade. Yani pralay hui फिर पृथ्वी वापस बनी. So we call it's happened 13 times. So we call it as first earth, third earth. But that doesn't mean that this earth was broken down and a brand new earth was made. This making of earth itself took two and a quarter crores of years. So this earth cannot be remade and broken or dissolved so fast. But at the moment, the way the world is going, it was a great possibility during COVID especially. So normally it takes about 10 lakhs for one era or one. It normally, it's an average that has happened, barring this time, barring this time, the 13th time. So say you can imagine, there are blog posts where I've written all this, but I'm explaining because people won't understand what I've written. So say there were geographical conditions. So after some time, the earth was not able to, or the people, I mean, there were some reasons like floods, catastrophes. So the world dissolved, the earth dissolved, and then after some lakhs of years, it was revived. So when we think of pralay, pralay doesn't happen overnight. It's not like a deluge. One part of the earth has got in whatever flooded and things like that. It's not like that. What happens is that slowly the earth degrades, and this happens because the thoughts, collective consciousness, collective thoughts of the world are very bad, and that impacts the environment. So the environment degrades, and because of the imbalances in the environment, the earth starts having cataclysmic changes, and because of that some part of the earth begins to be out of order, or there are a lot like pralay jisko hum bolte hain, our civilizations vanish. So this takes about a few lakhs, at least 2 lakh years, even this slow thing. But why this happens is because there is slowly what happens is all the people, all the animals start dying. So that's why God doesn't like this pralay, because again the earth has to be started. And how it happens, again some say plant may emerge, some animal, and then it takes time for propagation. So this pralay and punarstapana is a very tardy task for God to happen. So what I'm trying to say is that we if we distribute 1 crore and 25 lakh years into 13 parts, so we can call it one earth, second earth, third earth, and today we are in 13th earth. Now what Vishwamitra ji, obviously only he can tell me, or Markandeya ji can tell me all this, because they were born so long time back. So he said such an important thing which we must always remember, because we've got everything very easily. So he said that when these rishis came so long ago, about a crore years ago, some 90 lakh years ago, 97 lakh years ago, the first civilization, Kumari Kantam or Kumari Kandam as they call it, that was about 1 crore years. That was the first civilization ever. But people are saying that भारत की सभ्यता तो अभी शुरू हुई है ऋग्वेद के टाइम पे. किसी को नहीं पता, ये गलत बात है. कुमारी कंतम, that part of India, because that was warm and the north people from North India came towards this. Okay, that's besides the point. So Vishwamitra ji told me that because of such harsh geographical conditions, what was happening was that the levels of मोक्ष, यानी मोक्ष के बाद भी ज्ञान है, मोक्ष के बाद ही एक्चुअली ज्ञान है. सो वेदर इट इज़ प्रचंड ज्ञान, प्रभुत्व ज्ञान, और मतलब जो लेवल्स हैं, आई डोंट वांट टू गो बिकॉज इट्स गेटिंग वेरी लॉन्ग बाय नाउ. सो इन अर्थ वन, Vishwamitra ji only got moksha. He could not go ahead. He wanted to, but he could not. And then the earth dissolved and he was reborn in earth too. So the next level of Gyan after moksha is Tivra Gyan. He got Tivra Gyan in next earth. That means 10 lakh years or something. He had to wait. And the next level he got after, and it is only after Ramayana and what he had done as a rishi, and he did a lot of tap, that he was able to touch Prabhutva Gyan and little beyond that. And after he did a lot of penance, where today there is Mahakaleshwar, he went to some great heights after that. So he said that they had to wait so much to even listen to know these things. What I'm speaking is so what can I say? Is so hard to get. This knowledge was not available. This is what I'm saying. This knowledge was just not available. And I'm documenting that. Like no one could have got moksha because there was no Satyalok. Where will these energies come from? Correct? So when he came to Vashi, Navi Mumbai, where he came so many years back, he's saying it was so difficult for me to even do sadhana tapasya because life was very hard. We could not survive that life. And his second life in Tapovan, where I am talking about, where he came second time, he said I could not do because I died very fast, because there was no treatment of any, say, airborne or waterborne diseases, so they used to die. So they had to postpone that plan. Correct? So this is the reference, because if I just read out, you won't understand what I'm saying. And since Amra Maharishi is his son and they like to come again together if possible as son and father, so he wanted his son also to rest where he is resting now. So in 3 lives as some Swami or some Guruji, he had his small Gurukul where I'm still living. So he came where his father was resting, correct? So it was Vishwamitra who first of all sanctified Tapovan in very primitive era, so far ago in his 137th incarnation in this second earth. 13 times this earth has been destroyed and rebuilt. Later Amra followed him, means followed Vishwamitra ji. So this 13 times I said the world will not know what I am speaking. So I had to speak about it. The house I live in, this is me who's speaking. The house I live in has been truly blessed by the divine vibrations and penance of these two very holy masters of yore. They are Vishwamitra and Amra Maharishi. They both have lived on the same place where I am residing today in different times, and till this date their collective spiritual vibrations reverberate. Their deepest love for God and His will to preserve this earth echoes even now through their embedded resolutions, thoughts. They can be realized with intuition and undisturbed mental connections in silence. Om reverberates here. It resonates with my frequency so beautifully when I meditate. In sublime form, you shall feel it penetrating in your inner recesses of the mind when you sit quietly alone or in a group meditation. If you will avail the exclusive peace vibrations in your meditations, you shall confirm it and trust that indeed these two tapasvis and sannyasis had purified this place a very long time ago for us and our higher meditations. They have named this place Tapovan. Vishwamitra Maharishi came to Tapovan to live for the first time 97 lakh 50,005 years ago. His second incarnation was 96 lakh 21,000 years ago in the second earth. He lived here twice. In second incarnation in Tapovan, which was his 137th life, he implored God, how can I bring more light on earth? This very dynamic sankalp resolve is today roaring. A massive mission of revival and regeneration of human minds and environment is going on silently. More light is being brought down on earth at a fast speed for people to revive their sagged, dull, dormant consciousness. However, Amra Maharishi has lived in this place 79,049 years, 74,955 and 1,600 years ago. He wished to come on the Tapobhumi, place of penance of his father. The academic and scholarly vibrations of Amra Maharishi's Gurukul, which was made 1,600 years ago, is still active. I am a beneficiary and so are you. All my writings, barring a few, have originated in Tapovan only, with very powerful and spiritual energies embedded in them. Many spiritual energy fields have been made from here to many other spiritual energy invested samadhis and places of penance of ancient times, rishis in the Himalayas, and a few other similar places. The world is benefiting from these divine vibrations, and a slow change is coming upon many receptive people who are unaware of this fact. The revolution of Jyoti Marg is sublime, slow, and silent. Amraji has incarnated here 3 times. He says, I have made these 2 gigantic manuscripts or Mahagranth called blog Spirit in Life and its smaller version as extension on Facebook. Today, people do not understand these manuscripts or shastras. Hence, he will come again 5 times on the same place to do justice to them. Subsequently, he shall have 8 incarnations on Tapovan in total. And he also predicts that Jyoti Marg will be recognized and accepted fully in future after 550 years in the world. In Kali Yuga, people are very much rooted in material gratification and transitory world. Hmm? Yeah, I'm so happy. I spoke about them because I always hid them and I hid myself, but because they have lived and died for God, and people live and die for themselves. That's the difference. Mm. If only the world knew how selfless they are, if only we knew what they've done for us. बात करते हैं. जैसे आपने भी बताया कि ऋषि विश्वामित्र जी, महर्षि विश्वामित्र जी सबसे पहले आए थे और उनके साथ जो ऋषिज आए थे, तो उनको सब कुछ स्वयं ही करना पड़ा, स्वअर्जित ही करा उन्होंने मेहनत करके. तो इसमें उनकी ईश्वर ने मदद इतनी लेट करी या कैसे करी? इतना समय लगा उनको? इनका सवाल है, प्रश्न है कि उनको, विश्वामित्र जी को इतना टाइम लगा, इतना कष्ट सहा, मतलब क्योंकि भौगोलिक और ज्योग्राफिकल कंडीशंस ऐसी थी, इसलिए ऐसा हुआ. हाँ, यही कारण है, देयर इज़ नो अदर रीज़न. और दूसरी बात क्या है कि अगर मैं कहूँ, ये अतिशयोक्ति नहीं है, कि ईश्वर को जानना असंभव होता है, ना के बराबर होता है, क्योंकि भगवान ने सब बना तो दिया है और भगवान इतने एक्चुअल में चुप हैं, यानी उनका स्वरूप यही है. यही तो विरोधाभास है ना, कि बनाया सब कुछ भगवान ने, सब चीज़ में ईश्वर की छाया है या प्रेजेंस है. हर चीज़, कोई भी चीज़, कतरा कतरा जिसको हम बोलते हैं, कण कण में ईश्वर का की प्रेजेंस है, इसमें हम मना नहीं कर सकते. अब दुनिया नहीं जानती, इससे मेरा कोई मतलब नहीं रहा. कहने का मतलब है, मुझे फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता अगर दुनिया नहीं जानती या नहीं मानती है, पर सच तो यही है. कोई भी कण ऐसा नहीं है विश्व में जिसमें ईश्वर का अब प्रेजेंस ना हो, यानी अस्तित्व ना हो. ऐसा नहीं है. और यही सबसे बड़ी पहेली है कि हमको ईश्वर को जानना होता है, जो कि इतना छुपा है. आप लोग को अब आदत पड़ गई है, क्योंकि मैं इतना ज़्यादा आराम से या इतना प्रोफ्यूसली ये बात कह रही हूँ, और मैं इतने, जैसे मैं कह रही हूँ ना कि देखो सूर्य, आप कैसे इसको डिनाई करोगे? आप लोग को मेरी आदत पड़ गई है, आप किसी और के पास गए नहीं, आपने कभी किसी से शिक्षा दीक्षा ली नहीं, सब कुछ मेरे पे ही सब विश्वास से डाल दिया, और आपको अब आप जैसे ट्रेंड हो गए हो, आप मेरे, यू थिंक यही सब कुछ है, या यही इस तरह ही होता है. पर मैं एक बहुत एक्सेप्शनल ह्यूमन बीइंग हूँ, जिसको एक ही जन्म में सब कुछ दे दिया है, और मेरे ऐसे कुछ ग्रह बने हैं, ऐसा कुछ समय भी अब आ गया है विश्व में कि मैं इतनी बड़ी बड़ी बातें कर रही हूँ. पर ये दिस इज़ नॉट अ नॉर्म, ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ है, क्योंकि इतना खराब संसार पहले कभी हुआ ही नहीं है. यही तो रोना, इसी बात की तो सारी बात हो रही है कि इतना दूषित मनुष्य इतना दूषित कैसे हो गया है। इसलिए मेरा मन एकदम, जिसे कहते हैं ना, गदगद होता है कि अब देखो तो सही, एक ये भी तो देखो, वे भी तो इंसान थे, और एक अपनी शर्मिंदा करने वाली हरकतें भी तो देख लो। भूल के एक बार तो देख लो कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं, या इतने तो होश में आ जाएं हम। क्योंकि जो कुछ भी आज अच्छा है या बचा हुआ है, वो जो धर्म बचा हुआ है, वो इस तरह के लोग, मैं ये नहीं कह रही केवल ऋषि और दुनिया में कोई ऐसा नहीं है मेरा कहने का मतलब, पर जिसका सबसे ज़्यादा योगदान है, जो सबसे ज़्यादा लुप्त और गुप्त हैं, जिन्होंने प्रण ये किया था और भगवान ने भी यही नियम रखा था कि तुम्हें कोई जानेगा नहीं। भगवान ने उनको इतना सुरक्षित रखा हुआ था कि तुम्हारे तप से दुनिया नाजायज़ फ़ायदा लेगी, इसलिए तुम मेरे पीछे छुप के ही रहो। क्योंकि जो कुबुद्धि वाला आदमी है, औरत है, वो इस तपस्या से अपना कोई फ़ायदा लेगा, ये दिक्कत है। तो भगवान ने तो अपने आप को बहुत छुपाया है। इसीलिए ये मैं कह रही हूँ कि मुझे ये ऋषियों ने बताया है कि कोई भी शास्त्र जो मोक्ष की बात, जो मैंने पढ़े या आपने पढ़े हैं, कोई और पढ़ रहा है, पढ़ेगा आगे, तो वो केवल मोक्ष की आखिरी सीढ़ी बोल के अंत करके उसको बंद कर चुके, क्योंकि उनको ना पता होगा या ना बताने की अनुमति होगी कि नहीं, बोलना नहीं किसी को, तो वो वहीं एंड कर रहे हैं। और अब क्या भगवान कह रहे हैं कि बारिंग अ फ्यू थोड़े से सीक्रेट्स छोड़ दें, केवल थोड़ी सी कुछ बातें, या कुछ बातें जो भगवान हमें कभी नहीं बताएंगे, ओके, वो छोड़ दें हम। उसके अलावा कुछ समय के लिए, कुछ 1000 साल के लिए, कुछ हंड्रेड्स ऑफ ईयर्स के लिए भगवान ने कहा है कि मैं अपने आप को पूरा खुल के प्रकट करके बताऊंगा। जहाँ हमें ये एक रिस्ट्रिक्शन दी गई है कि भाई आपको तो ये रहस्य है, बस भगवान की इच्छा है, मैं नहीं चाहता। अब जैसे कोई शर्मीला होता है, कोई शर्मीली लेडी होती है, उसको शाय होती है, उसको नहीं मन है मैं अपने बारे में इतनी बात करूं। और ऐसे ही भगवान का स्वभाव है, क्योंकि भगवान इतने ईगोलेस हैं, और जो भी कारण है तो वो एक पहेली रखे हुए हैं कि आप लोग मेरे पास आओ, आओ मेरे पास, पर मैं इतना ही डिस्क्लोज करूँगा तुम्हें। तो हमें जीने की एक बहुत अच्छी मकसद मिल जाती है, और हमको अगर वो प्यास लग जाती है, इतना आकर्षण अगर ईश्वर में नहीं है, तो हम जैसे, या जो तपस्वी हैं, या जो पहले इतना कष्ट सह गए हैं, सब कुछ क्यों त्याग के बैठ गए मन से? क्योंकि एक्चुअल में माया में सुख नहीं है ना। होता कैसे है ही नहीं। तो उनको डेफिनेटली, विश्वामित्र जी भी थे, या मैंने जो अभी एक बायोग्राफी लिखी है कार्तिकेयन स्वामी जी के, शिव भगवान के जो पुत्र बन के आए बाद में, वो पहले भी ऋषि थे। तो उनकी क्या कम कष्ट वाली बात थी? अभी भोगनाथ जी क्या बता देंगे, आगे क्या कोई बता देगा? अभी सारे ऋषियों का अभी एक एक करके नाम आएगा और हम उनके बारे में बताएंगे। और जो ये कुमारी कंतम या कुमारी कंडम की जो बात है, वो पहली सभ्यता थी, करीब 97। मैं थोड़ा आगे इस पे बताती हूँ, क्योंकि है ये बात अब आएगी, मैं तो कह रही हूँ, मैं पहले से बता के रख रही हूँ, किताबों में मैं लिखूँगी कि वो पहली सभ्यता थी 1 करोड़ वर्ष पहले। क्यों थी सभ्यता? और उस समय भगवान ने बहुत लिमिटेड ज्ञान की परमिशन दी थी, क्योंकि उस समय तो अगस्त्य महर्षि थे, विश्वकर्मा जी थे, परशुराम जी थे, पुलस्त्य से ऋषि थे, पुलस्त्य। इनको तो बहुत काफ़ी इनको ज्ञान था पहले से, ये इतने प्योर रहे, ये करप्ट ही नहीं किया उन्होंने अपने माइंड्स को। पर फिर भी भगवान ने कहा बस इतना ही बताऊंगा, एंड दे वर ओके विद इट। तीव्र ज्ञान से ज़्यादा उनको था ही नहीं, मोक्ष भी बहुत कम। पर दे वर वेरी गुड ह्यूमन बींग्स बिकॉज उन्होंने नेचर को बहुत नर्चर किया, नेचर के साथ बहुत उनको भगवान, उन्होंने बोला ये भगवान ही तो है, प्रकृति को तो भगवान मानना है। अब सनातन धर्म इसमें से नहीं आया तो किस में से आया? क्यों नहीं हम प्रकृति को भगवान मानने के लिए तैयार हैं? क्या हमारा प्रॉब्लम है? मेरा सवाल है आज सबसे। और जिस दिन जिस पहले मनुष्य को और जिन लोगों को आ गया कि नहीं हम चीफ्टन हैं, हम बड़े हैं, ये हमारी ज़मीन है, तुम अलग हो, वो पहला सेपरेशन, पहला वो विचार खराब था। इस तरह के कुछ लोगों को जो विचार आए, तब भारत जाके अलग हुआ और वो अफ्रीका कहलाया। तो किस किस बात ने ज़मीन को फाड़ दिया? किस बात ने? ये मनुष्य के विचार थे ना, क्योंकि तुम यहाँ के नायक हो तो मुझे भी बनना है, तो मैं अलग अपनी वो करूँगा, मुझे अपनी अलग किंगडम चाहिए। तो ये जो सेंस ऑफ सेपरेशन आया, तो यही तो वो कह रहे हैं कि देखो तुम लोग पीछे जाओ, करोड़ों वर्ष भी जा सकते हो, एटलीस्ट 1 करोड़ जा सकते हो। देखो ये ह्यूमन हिस्ट्री है। और लोगों को आइडिया नहीं, कोई जान भी नहीं सकता कि कुमारी का अंतम या कंडम कब का है। इंस्क्रिप्शंस है, तमिल संगम बोल रहे हैं, समुद्र के नीचे से मिल रहे, पर किसी को आइडिया थोड़ी है ना, ये तो ऋषि बताएंगे ना, क्योंकि उनमें से वो रह चुके हैं ना। और वो उनकी जब किताबें बनेगी दुनिया को मानना पड़ेगा ना, क्योंकि इससे बेटर फैक्ट्स आ ही नहीं सकते, क्योंकि वो स्वयं मुझे बोल रही है। और कारण क्या था? अफ्रीका मडगास्कर क्यों बना? क्योंकि यही ऋषि इधर थे, फिर वो मडगास्कर में जन्मे, फिर भी वो भारत आए, यानी अब जो श्रीलंका है, कतरगामा है, फिर कतरगामा पे फिर पहले विश्वकर्मा जी ने कितना चल के कितना, तो ही इज़ द फर्स्ट ह्यूमन बीइंग जिन्होंने इतना चला है, मतलब पहला तीर्थ उन्होंने किया है। और फिर वो आगे इतना वो जैसे पवित्र करके गए, तो उसके ऊपर फिर विश्वामित्र जी ने की, फिर उसी स्थान पे फिर कार्तिक स्वामी जी ने किया, फिर उसी स्थान पे हम जाके आए। और वहाँ से ये मैंने ब्लॉग पोस्ट लिखी हैं। तो मैं कहाँ से चीज़ें खोज के निकाल रही हूँ? 1 करोड़ वर्ष पहले की चीज़ मैं निकाल के दुनिया को दे रही हूँ। तो वो तो फिर मैं यही कहती हूँ, भाई ये आपका प्रॉब्लम है, अगर आपको ये पसंद नहीं आता तो आप जो चूज़ करें आप करें, पर मैं तो सच दे रही हूँ। और आप चाहे तो इस पर रिसर्च कर ले, यही निकलेगा। तो मनुष्य जब तक अपने मन को नहीं संवारेगा, क्योंकि मन में ही ईश्वर बैठे हुए हैं, इस मन से ही हमको ईश्वर को जानना है, ये मन से ही हम भगवान से अलग हो गए। अब ये मन की ही साधना करनी पड़ेगी। अब ये मन को शांत ठीक करने का, रिपेयर करने का ये तरीका बता रहे कि आपको ये करना पड़ेगा। आपने एक्सेसिव ये काम कर लिया, आप इसको रिस्टोर करो।